Hi all, welcome back to Not Just a Nurse. I'm Chelsea. I've got episode 3 for you. It's going to be about post-shift anxiety. Now, I know I've talked a bit about anxiety, but we'll do some more fun stuff later. This is one really for when you get home from a shift, okay? Uh, because of shift work, you're either going straight to school to pick up the kids from school, or you're going by the supermarket. So you might have a really busy after shift period, or you're coming home from afternoon shift and you're coming home to a quiet house, well, with a bit of luck. Um, and so that's a lot different. That's really late at night. Nobody's there to talk to. Or you're coming home from night shift, and either you've got a whole list of things to do before you go to bed, or you're going straight to bed, but somebody's doing mulching outside, that machine that's the worst. So look, there's all sorts of stuff that you could be walking into. I mean, you might be walking into sick kids, you might be walking into a party that everybody's been drinking at since 7 o'clock. You might be coming home to get changed to go out. There's so many things. But why I wanted to bring this up was because sometimes we have a really hard job. Sometimes bad things do happen at our jobs, and they really take all of our heart and soul to deal with. So when we get home, it's very hard to relax when you've used up all your heart and your soul, right? So what do I do after work when I'm stressed? Okay, is this the best? Am I going to give you best practice? No, I'm going to tell you how I really do it. And I'm not perfect. Actually, I'm far, far from perfect. This is almost helping me learn as well. But really, my favorite things to do after work is eat chocolate, have a cup of tea with a hot water bottle, and watch TV, right? But sometimes I will sit down and I'll think, oh, what chocolate am I going to eat? I don't know. What am I going to watch? I'm not sure. And we call this the magic chair, right? This is what happens to people who, especially who work in emergency services and very high stress jobs. They use up all of their adrenaline and cortisol in their work, right? And they need to. They need to have all of their body being at its peak so that they can think properly, so that they can work together, so they can solve complex problems. Okay. But when those leave you, they leave you feeling very flat, not only mentally, but physically. Okay. So have a think about it's kind of like being at a concert, right? You're really, really excited with all of the stimulus around you, you've had an excellent time, and then you get home and your body buzzes, your ears ring, and you're just knackered, right? So when you get home, you need to be aware that if you've had a busy day, your body is not going to want to play, okay? And neither is your mind. You've run out of all those special things that you used up when you're doing such a good job doing those triple antes or going to blood bank to get that bag of plasma real quick, or, talking to doctors on the phone when they say, what's this person in with? And you're like, oh, when you're struggling to find your handover sheet. You might have been teaching, you might have had students or grads with you. So you've just been talking all day, plus you've had your tricky patients. You might have had 5 days in a row of the same patients and you really need a break. Okay. And then you get home and your body aches, you can't make a decision, and you feel terrible, right? And you sit down and you think, finally I can watch Offspring. Great. I love Offspring. Cool. And you sit down, and then all your mind wants to do is think about fluid balance charts. All it wants to do is go over what you've done in the day, pick it apart, and say, "Oh, well, maybe the arrest rate was too high. Oh, my my three-way catheter blocked today. Maybe if I ran it faster, I should, maybe if I ran the washout faster, it would have worked better." Or one is waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning to remember that you forgot to write you forgot to write in the fluid balance chart for midday, like a day ago. Um, so your mind is just trying to process all of the stuff that you've done, but it's really, really difficult. Okay. So just be aware Um, I mean, put in the comments. Some people do really well if you go straight home and do some exercise. I'm not a very good exerciser. I wish I was. Um, that's a really good way to get through post-shift anxiety. I reckon I put on 5 kilos in my graduate year because of eating after afternoon shifts. It was delicious, right? It was like instant dopamine. And that's what our brain's looking for because we've used up all of our dopamine in our job. You're not alone if you're looking for dopamine in food. It's a great, great source of happiness. I really like warmth as well. And you probably, if you ask yourself in your mind what your pain score is when you get out of work, I bet you have pain as well. I bet you have sore feet, bet you have sore back, I bet your eyes are dry. Sometimes even my eyelids get sweaty, right? And when you think about it, my eyes have been wide open for hours and hours, and I probably haven't blinked as much. So actually get sweaty eyelids. Isn't that weird and kind of gross? I mean, they're not super, but it just kind of shows how wide open we have to be when we're at work, no matter where you're working, right? Anything from mental health, community health to uh, any type of nurse. Okay. Um, so I like to eat and drink and I like warmth. Um, if you are clever enough to brush your teeth and go straight to bed, that seems to be really good for some people, especially if you've got an early in the morning. Take some Panadol, brush your teeth and go to bed. That would be a good idea. I never managed that myself, but I wish I did. The other thing you can do is call somebody. Okay, you might be able to talk to another nurse who's awake, or message a best friend and just say, "Hey, I've had a tough day." Just reaching out. If it is an extremely tough day, unfortunately, if you've been on night duty, they seem to just go to bed. You might find yourself tossing and turning a little bit. And then, of course, the countdown to the next night shift is on. So, can you kind of see, even though the 8 hours that we do at work is very difficult, there's all of these periods after work where it depends on our personality and it depends on how we deal with stress as to what's going to help you de-stress. And, it's $1 million question. I reckon if we did 100 nurses all on the same shift, I wonder who would actually recover the best. Is there a good way to do it? Is there not is it, do you even get a choice? You might be so busy that you've got commitments on after work, so you don't have time to process your shift. You don't have time to think of the fluid balance chart. You just have to get to school pickup on time, and then to dancing, and then to this, and then to that, and then you got to cook dinner, and then you end up sleeping with your kids because everyone just needs a rest, right? And then you're back in the morning. So it's really, really tricky. Okay. Like the second video, I'll put some links under here for some things that can help you with post-shift anxiety. I've kind of glazed over it, but I don't want to go on too long. So I don't know what the next episode's going to be. So it'll be a surprise, but please subscribe and please like my video and put me a comment and say hi. That'd be really good. It's been really nice to have you again. I'm really glad you joined me because we're all in this together and you're not just a nurse, okay? As you can see, we're plenty more than that. All right, that was really lame, wasn't it? Okay, next time, bye.